welcome, everybody. It's Coach Les, and I'm here at Cullen's Ice Cream today. Woo, doing a little vanilla. Everybody wonders, what's my favorite flavor? My number one, vanilla. My number two, Oreo cheesecake, homemade by the CEO, my wife. Yes, and I'm here with Mr. Yarwood, and we are heading into number 35 of Yma Chat. And today's topic is the impact of negative self-talk in daily life and martial arts. And you might wonder what self-talk is. So let me give you an example. Did he just stop talking? Was that silence? How come he wasn't talking? Is my connection good? Did I lose volume? That's all of that internal dialogue that happens. And we have about 80 to 90,000 thoughts a day. A day. So think about that as we go through today's topic and we jump into some of the effects, some of the things that we see both in martial arts and where both Mr. Yarwood and myself are committed outside the studio. What does it look like? What are we dealing with? How do we take the lessons of martial arts, the power of martial arts, out into life, or in my case, out into the workforce? So welcome, Mr. Yarwood. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, sir.
Pass it over to you, and I'm going to have a scoop of my vanilla.
So this is a big thing for us in our school. We don't even realize how much negativity we have going around in our head, how much we hinder ourselves from doing things, how much we say things bad about ourselves. It's become so second nature that it doesn't, you don't even realize it. It's crazy. We are constantly telling ourselves we can't do something. That's too hard. I don't have enough knowledge. I don't have enough experience. I can't. And regardless of how you say the phrase, I can't, unable, however you want to put it, it gets into your psyche, into your brain, and it manifests itself into not being able to be successful in whatever it is you want to do, not being able to complete things that you're trying to complete, not being able to start things that you want to start. I mean, there's so many different aspects of control that the negative talk has in your brain that there's things you have so many things unrealized because of the decision to not do something because you don't think you can. It's so pervasive in society that within our school, I actually have rules about it. We don't, when negative self-talk, it comes in so many different ways. I hear it so often with kids that they talk about things that they're struggling with, something that they say, oh, I hate this move, or this move is my least favorite. Those things are things that burn into your brain, that tell your brain, nope, can't do it. It's like quitting. And I'm not a fan of quitting. So we have a rule. We have completely abolished the phrase, I can't, in my school. The word can't has been removed from our students' vocabulary, and it's enforced. I have every new student that comes in that door, they get that rule. The word can't is no longer part of your vocabulary, and I make sure that it's enforced by the parents. If they say the word, we call it the C word. It's a swear word in our school. If they say the C word, then the parents have the right to give them push-ups or burpees or whatever it is that the parents want them to do wherever they are. It doesn't matter. You don't get to wait. Well, I'll do them at home. No, you do them right where you are when you say it. My son, when he was, 9 or 10, had to do push-ups in the Walmart parking lot because he said the word can't. It's just It's something that has so much power in your brain that you don't even realize it. So
and does he still love you, Mr. Yarwood?
sure, he enforces the rule himself now as being our head instructor. But I always,
Mr. Yarwood, if I can make my kid do push-ups in the parking lot, they're gonna not like me anymore.
they're not gonna like you in the moment, but ultimately they're gonna love you because of what you've done for them in their future by enforcing things that have detrimental effect on them, whether they realize it or not. You can say, "What's the big deal? It's just a word." It's not just a word. It's a powerful concept that you put into your brain consistently over and over again that has an effect, detrimental effect, both in short term and long term. So I'll even have, like, when we do intros, I'll tell the new parent, I said, I can pull any kid out of this classroom right now that's been here for an amount of time and have them come over, and I'll say, hey, say the C word for me. And I guarantee you they won't say it. They were like, no, sir, not going to say it. It's not that I don't say that word. And it's something that we stress, we focus on. Literally, it's part of the fabric of what we do. And creating that fight against negative self-talk is a huge part of us in our how we do things at Yarwood's Martial Arts.
Awesome. And for those of you that are going, wow, words don't mean that much. Come on, people swear, they do all of that. Well, no, part of the reason we want people to clean up their language, part of the reason we want people not swearing is, and it goes back thousands of years. For those of you that are biblical scholars or people that have read the Bible, regardless of whether you're religious or not, it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And the power that comes with Word in that space right there was the Word was spoken, and poof, the universe came into existence. So you talk about the power of word. Word can create and it can kill. So when Mr. Yarwood says words are powerful, they are. They demoralize. Think about what happens when somebody picks on somebody in school, and they pick on them and call them names and harass them and bully them. I mean, why do you think bullying has such an we're out to cause bullying to be removed from schools? Because it's so detrimental. The language gets programmed into somebody's brain, and guess what? That's how they view themselves. They look in the mirror. Oh, well, I'm not good enough. I don't look good enough. Oh, I need to change the way I look because people have been making fun of this or that. You know what? I don't want to look like everybody else. I want my uniqueness. Can you imagine? I mean, I can't imagine. This world with 1,000 Coach Lesses. Eek.
One is bad enough, right, sir?
Yes, sir. It's like I create enough havoc just with one of them. So when it comes to this stuff, the whole and we don't realize when we say this stuff, the impact of it back on us, the reflection back on us is it's so disempowering. That's, to me, I mean, when I look at what you captured and what you've written here in our sheet for the day, lowered self-confidence, increased stress and anxiety, lack of motivation, struggles in relationships, unwillingness to try new things. I mean, my goodness, think about this. You do something or you say something and it has negative consequences, and you repeat it. Well, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and 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 expecting a different result. So guess what? Just stop. People ask me, well, Les, how do I stop doing this? It's like, guess what? You just stop.
Just
There's
stop.
no magic pill. There's
Nope.
just stop. Well, Les, I was in the military. And I've had this argument. I was in the military, and my language went from being 95% clean to 95% swearing and 5% clean. Well, guess what? I came out of the military. What did I have to do? Clean up my language. How did I do it? By stopping, those words that were not effective. And guess what? The funny thing is, people that's, this negative self-talk and swearing and all of this, it doesn't take a lot of education to swear. It doesn't take a lot of thought process to swear. It doesn't take a lot of thought process to insult. The thought process is, how do you communicate, make a difference in the world, and move a point of view or create an opportunity for someone to move their point of view. And you do it in an empowering way versus a disempowering way. So self-talk, we all have it. It's never not going to be. It's part of being a human being and having free thought. So, when it comes to, not telling yourself, we're our own biggest critic. Constantly telling yourself you're not good enough or capable can diminish self-esteem and make it harder to take risks or pursue opportunities. Guess what? If you say you can't do it enough times,
you're right.
Yeah. Hello.
Yep. Yeah, there's that phrase that always comes to mind. Whether I think Henry Ford may have said it. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It's amazing. The people don't even realize how often they say bad things about themselves. And it doesn't have to be like a direct, you suck, I don't like any of that. It's just certain things along the way that you put into your brain that comes out of your mouth or comes into your thoughts that stop you from doing things because you're not good enough. You don't think you can do it. I hear constantly with the kids, and that's why I get after them so much about it. When I hear them say, let's just take the word can't for example, I hear them say can't. One thing that I talk to them about, I walk up and say, what did you just say? And they go, what? I said, you just said the C word, right? And they're like, yes, sir. And they're kind of scared and worried. It's like, what I'll typically ask next is, why did you say that? Why did you say the word can't? What does it mean? So I want them to understand why I have this I don't know, dislike, I guess, for the word, because it's so detrimental to them when they're saying things about themselves. They're 9 or 10 years old and they're already telling themselves they can't do stuff. I want them to think about, why did you say that? And how can we change it to you saying, instead of saying I can't, say what we like to say is currently unable. Right now, I might not be able to do a spinning hook kick, but if I practice and I learn how to do it, I can do it. So I make them think about, when you say can't, it's like saying I quit. I'm not going to do it. Can't do it. Don't want to do it. And all these things, they just manifest themselves into these bigger problems. And it's over and over and over and over again. So I try and approach it from the point of view of, like, I'm not trying to be mad at you for saying the word, because that's not it. What I am is I'm trying to help you understand the power that what you say to yourself has. So I'll ask them and say, would you like it if somebody called you a bad word? Do you like it when people pick on you, when they say bad things about you? And the answer is always no. No, I don't like it. No, I'll ask them, so do you say, then would you like it if you said bad words to yourself? Do you call yourself those names? So if you don't like somebody else calling you those names, or you don't like somebody else telling you can't do something, then why do you allow yourself to tell yourself those things and say those things about you? And when they start to realize that that's what they're doing, that they're saying the things to themselves that people say to them, they start to realize that, oh, I'm bullying myself essentially, right? So we help them to understand when you get to that point, when you get to a struggle that you don't think you can do, think about how can I look at it from a different angle. I can't do a jump number 3 front kick. All right, well, can you do a front kick? Yes. Can you jump? Yes. Well, if we put those two things together, both of which you can do, I'll bet you we can get you to do a jump kick. And they're like, oh, that realization that they already have the tools to do the things they don't think they can do. They're just getting in their own way by saying they can't. Because either they don't want to try it, or they're scared, or they don't have maybe their ability isn't there yet. So many different things. And when they look at it from that standpoint, they're their own worst enemy.
And one of the things that you've shown us here in this document is some of the effects written down of that negative self-talk. 1,
Yep.
Hindered performance. 2, slower progress. 3, increased fear and hesitation.
Ooh, excuse me.
Bless you. 4, higher likelihood of quitting. And 5, poor mental toughness. Now, for me, all of those things have a counterpoint that will leave you empowered. And one of the ways in overcoming negative self-talk is, 1, first to realize you're doing it.
Yep.
Secondly, replacing it with positive affirmations. Instead of saying, I can't do this, you could say, hey, I'm improving every day. Focus on progress, not perfection. Understand that failure is a part of growth, and small improvements matter more than instant success. 4, surround yourself with supportive people. Make sure you have. Everybody asks me, so why have a business coach? Well, because a business coach can support you in the story, and then kick you in the butt when you need it. Replace everything. Focus on progress, not perfection. Surround yourself with supportive people and practice mindfulness and visualization. Woo!
That's a big one.
Yep.
See yourself doing the thing it is you don't think you can do. Visualize, close your eyes and see yourself doing it. If it's that spin hook kick, close your eyes and go, okay, there's what the spin hook kick looks like. Keep seeing yourself doing it over and over again. Because that's all going into that mind up there. And when you see yourself doing it, there's no way you can say, I can't do it, because you just saw yourself do it. You might not be physically capable of it yet, but you know that it's possible because you've already seen yourself do it. And then you're like, okay, let's do this. Break it down into the parts that you need to do. All the stuff you already know, just add it all together and you got it. It's going to take some work, some challenge, right? But ultimately, when you say I can't, you just gave up. You quit. You didn't even try. And that's not going to get you anywhere.
And, the other thing is sometimes to focus on what you can do rather than focusing on what you can't do.
Yep.
Very simple. Negative self-talk can be a major roadblock in both daily life and martial arts. affecting confidence, motivation, and performance by recognizing and replacing negative thoughts with positive ones. Individuals can cultivate a mindset of resilience and self-belief, leading to greater success and fulfillment. And I look at, there are so many roadblocks in our life. This is one of the easiest to dismantle and give us freedom.
Yeah, there's already problems. There's already things that are outside of us externally that are barriers or obstacles. When we add our own thoughts into that mix, it just makes them that much more difficult to achieve. If we become our biggest barrier, none of that other stuff is going to matter because we're not ever going to try it anyway. We're not ever going to be able to achieve what we're looking for because we're stopping ourselves before we even start sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I could never do that. One of the ways we hear is like, so my son, Mr. James, is very talented martial artist. And we have him show kids stuff that he does just, so they can see how awesome it is, that the things that he does. Most of the time kids are cheering and excited, but every once in a while you get one of those kids like, I could never do that. They don't even realize what they're saying to themselves, right? Before they've even thought about trying it, they're already telling themselves they can't do it. And they don't say, I can't do that, right? They say, I could never do that, which is almost worse because now, it's not just now, but even down the road, right? They're predicting their future in one phrase just by being that negative, that negative thought that immediately the first thought they went to was negative. And it's like, and then Mr. James will say, hey, when I was 9-10 years old, I couldn't do these things either. But I didn't decide that I couldn't, and then that was it. I figured out how. As opposed to saying, I can't do that. I could never do that. There's no way I could do that. Or they put it back on the other person. Oh, it's just because he's got so much talent or whatever it is, right? Excuses as to why he does it and you don't. But in reality, it's like if you put your mind to it and decide you want to do it, you'll do it. It might not be immediate, but it'll happen.
I mean, look at Michael Jordan. Why? What? You ask him and put him in an interview. Why is he so good? He didn't just wake up and be able to do what he did.
Yep.
He spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours throwing balls into a little round hoop and dribbling and learning how to control the ball, learning how to be that ball to be an extension of his body, right? So, when people say, oh, I can't. If he'd said I can't, he'd never have made it. I mean, Thomas Edison, there's who knows what the real number is, but it's all the numbers are over 1,000. He tried 1,000 different ways to make a light bulb.
I hear 10,000.
Yeah. Some people say 10. Some people say 1,800, 1,500. Who cares? 1,000 up is a heck of a lot of attempts. I mean, that's a tremendous amount of attempts of putting something together to make a light bulb. And I look at the reward that came from that and his ability to be number one and so far above others was all because of what he kept putting into it, what he kept putting into it. So, yeah, super excited. Look at the kids with autism that you work with. You know what?
Yep.
Was it Liam that couldn't even walk a straight line?
Yep. When he first came, his mom, one of his mom's biggest concerns was his balance. He struggled with balance. And then what was great is that not only could he have good balance and run and all that stuff, he watched Mr. James, back to Mr. James again, do cartwheels, and he learned how to do a cartwheel. He went from not having very good balance at all to doing a cartwheel. His mom was crying because of seeing her son being able to do a cartwheel, because of the progress that he made and that mindset that he had. That he struggled. He had some coordination issues, but he never quit. That was his thing. He never quit. He never told himself, I can't do it. He's like, how can I do it? What can I do that will allow me to do it? So Mr. James helped him, taught him a couple little tricks, and suddenly Liam was doing cartwheels. I mean, he wasn't doing Olympic level cartwheels, but for him, they might as well have been.
Yeah, no kidding. From going, and I mean, I saw videos from his parents. You know, she showed me a video where he's walking down a path, and he couldn't stay in a straight line.
Yep. And we have kids who have disabilities. Like Miss Taylor, she's in a wheelchair. That kid does everything. She does powerlifting, she does track and field, she does basketball, she does softball, she does martial arts. And that kid is an inspiration. She doesn't know what the word quit means. She doesn't know the word can't. She's like, hers is watch me. She's in a wheelchair. She has spina bifida. But she does more than most kids her age do. Physically.
And the question then is, is she perfect? Does she have down days? Of course she does.
Yeah, of course she does. Everybody does.
She's a human being.
Yep.
Yeah. It's really great. Well, I hope that everybody has enjoyed today. I think, from the conclusion of what you've wrote, and then I'll let you add to it because I think you'll definitely have more to add to it than what's written here. Negative self-talk can be a major roadblock in both daily life and martial arts, affecting confidence, motivation, and performance. By recognizing and replacing negative thoughts with positive ones, individuals can cultivate a mindset of resilience and self-belief, leading to greater success and fulfillment.
For sure. It's like I said, it's part of our culture. The positive reinforcement, the long-term effects that has on I'm diligent, almost militaristic about getting rid of negative talk, negative thoughts, because I know the damage that it can do. So to me, it's woven into how I teach, how I interact with my students, and making sure that they understand that they have the most control and most power over their success or failure based on what they think about themselves, how they view themselves, and how they talk about themselves, and how they present themselves. Because if they have doubts about themselves and their negative thoughts about themselves, they're never going to get where they need to be. And it's important that I help guide them in understanding how powerful they are based on how they think about themselves.
So the final thought I would like to leave you with is this. Whenever you think you're you have a negative self thought, close your eyes. Picture yourself in your favorite place. Picture yourself with your favorite people, your favorite food, your favorite drink and beverage. Open your eyes, visualize yourself succeeding at whatever it is you have, and see. Try it. My test
Yep.
is for you to just try it. Give it a whirl. You've been doing the
Yep.
other way forever. Why not try, and see what's available on the other side?
Yep. Train your brain and your body will follow.
Amen. Well, Mr. Yoward, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
For this time. Really appreciate it and look forward to seeing you again soon on the mats.
All right, sir.
Next week with episode number 36.
See you on the mats.
And here we go.